Welcome back to SCV Today. It is our real estate segment that we like to talk about always. And you brought this story to my attention. I think you should read this story because this is something you found. But it's really fascinating.
This was on KTLA last night. I found this late last night. It's about a local family in, not here, but in Riverside, I believe. He's an amputee. She's a Navy veteran. They rented a home that they found on Craigslist. So Craigslist is pretty big, right? For people looking for homes to rent and buy. Everything was as it was supposed to be. He said they paid, they moved in. Next thing you know, a woman shows up at the door and says, "Get out of here, this is my house." It was a fraudulent lease, the fraudulent owners. They are now homeless. So that's why we have Mike Bjorkman here to tell us why we need you to keep stuff from like this happening.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to me that this still happens because at SCV Leasing, like the first week we opened back in 2007, this started happening. What happens is people steal our data that we put on Craigslist or anywhere else. They take the pictures, they take the verbiage, and they post it on Craigslist with their own, it looks like a really, Mike Smith at google.com, a normal email address. So the potential tenant will email them and say, "I'm interested in this property." And they say, "Okay, well, we're out of town on vacation. There's a couple other people interested. If you're very serious, go ahead and wire me a deposit. Here's the instructions, da-da-da." So the people will wire them their first month's rent and the security. And then they go, "Okay, I'm going to meet you." And they say, "I'll meet you, next Friday at 4 o'clock to sign the lease." Well, the tenants show up. There's nobody there. Sometimes the owner of the home's there, and sometimes they've tried to move in. It's happened to a lot of good friends of mine, and this is totally normal. I mean,
really?
The fact this is an amputee and a Navy veteran, to me, doesn't mean anything, because this happens to normal families all the time. We all know Craigslist is the biggest scam place on earth. We need to be careful, so you need a property manager. Never wire your money without a signed contract. That's ridiculous. Just don't do things that don't make sense. "Oh, I'm out of town, I'm in Montana, I'm in the service, and I had to go, I was deployed." They do that all the time. And people go, "Oh, okay, let me wire you my money." And then, it's unfortunate because tenants are desperate to get a place, just like buyers in today's market. They'll do anything to get into a place, and it looks, they're so good, and they're so legitimate. Like, I keep getting the car scams ones. I'll get a random spam email saying, "Hey, this is a nice car, it's for sale, and it's a pretty good deal." And then, I go, "Okay, here's a cool scam," and I'll play back and forth with them until I let them know the FBI now has the emails. And then all of a sudden it stops. But, they're like, "Oh, it's all warranted on eBay Motors," and da-da-da-da-da. It's amazing. But with real estate, they do it all the time. And it's different every time, but the same idea is there. Wire me the money before you get keys or a contract. Never do that. If you're going to not use a professional, make sure you check out the homeowner, which we can help you with. Make sure you check out the contracts, all that stuff. Never wire money to anybody.
Flip the situation around. Say that the property owner is legitimate and they put it out there on Craigslist. Now they have a fraudulent tenant or
That's
buyer.
That's happened to us too.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of our owners in the past has come to us from Craigslist, and the potential tenants have had some sort of scam for them. Where they say, "Hey, let me move in, and I'm getting a settlement from a lawsuit in 3 months, and then I'll pay you in full." We've had tenants move into places, and then they have to evict them, and sometimes it's taken more than a year to evict them, and it's unbelievable because the owners, they don't look for background checks, they don't do credit checks, they don't do criminal checks, they don't do bankruptcy checks. They don't know. They just, all they know is probably somebody like this, the poor amputee, the Navy veteran, this and that. It's always a really good story. And then they say, "Okay, here's the keys. I get your," they say, "We're in the streets, we have nowhere to go. Okay, just give me the money Friday." And then boom, locks changed, no return phone calls, and now you're in an eviction. Happens all the time. So my best recommendation is to use a competent real estate agent or property manager for things like that.
The fee is well worth what you get for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
These
scams are common daily, and there's nothing we can do about it. We've contacted local authority, federal authority, and they're, I'll admit the federal authorities always say, "Oh yeah, we're working on things like that," but all you can do is if you see something like that, report it on Craigslist. But unfortunately, they look so real Nobody knows until it's too late. My friend was renting his guest house in Placer Canyon, where I live, and there was like 4 or 5 people that all gave security deposits for this place, and they were all showing up, and my friend almost got in a fist fight with some of them because they're like, hey, we paid security deposit for this guest house. He's like, I don't care, it's my guest house. I never talked to anybody, I never got any money, get out of here. And the tenants are so frustrated and emotionally
So
involved.
someone had scammed them.
Yeah, like 5 people at once. So they all showed up. They said, we'll meet Friday to sign the lease. So my client friend just happens to be home early Friday afternoon. All these people show up and they all think they're moving into this guest house.
Could this happen to any homeowner? I mean, if I have a house,
Of course.
and I'm sitting there living in the house, and all of a sudden people start showing up, knocking on the door, going, "This is my house now, and what are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Has that happened?
All the time.
Seriously.
All the time.
Wow.
It's amazing. Well, my staff's now trained to look for that. And typically what they do to create a lot of activity is cut the price pretty good. So if it's a $2,000 house, they'll put $1,500 to drive the activity. And the people that are serious and motivated and qualified look and say, that's an amazing deal, that's $500 less. So they go, oh, panic, panic. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 other people looking at it, you better hurry, and wire your deposit, or sorry. Oh my gosh, I want that good deal. Pff, done, bye. People are really stupid.
Wow.
That's okay. So, hire a professional.
Yeah.
And of course, in San Clarita, we know who the best is. So Mike and I wanted to talk about something too.
Yeah.
The other day, we're on a listing appointment, and to protect the identity, we'll use the name Jane Doe for the other agent.
Mike's sitting there going, wait, who are you talking about? No, I'm kidding.
So no. We were on a listing appointment, and the potential client said they were considering using Jane Doe versus us.
Yeah, this one.
And so we said, oh, okay, so have you ever met Jane Doe? And they said, no, but I really love her Facebook post. I mean, she's godly, and I just really like her Facebook post. So Mike and I were kind of shocked at the fact that this person was willing to trust their biggest investment in their life to someone that put something on Facebook.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
And we're like, because we know Jane Doe.
Yeah.
And so we know better. And of course, we're not going to say that. But talk to us a little bit about the mindset of people trusting the biggest asset and value in their life to.
Social media is so powerful. People have fake lives on social media, and most of our business nowadays comes from very close referrals or social media. We use Twitter, we use Facebook, we use Pinterest, we use LinkedIn. So people get to know, like, and trust you through Facebook. Let's just use Facebook because this is, and this person's been friends with them for over a year, watch their lives, and learn to know, like, and trust. And, Tammy and I know it's the Black Widow, and we feel awful for anybody that has to do business with this person. But I sat there and I said, look, I understand that on the outside looking in, this person looks very pleasant, always positive, religious, family orientated. But let's take it to the next level that'll protect your investment. Let's truly research her experience level, the company, the staff. Let's look at the whole picture here. And once you look a little deeper, our client was like, wow, I see the difference now. So people, they live in this fantasy land of social media sometimes. And, and I hate to say that because we try always to be positive and to be family orientated on Facebook, but sometimes there's fake people out there. And good people can get sucked into these traps. Similar to a Craigslist ad, I would consider it not too much different than that.
Right.
Because they look one way on the outside, but,
And
or
also
people
just-
will talk a lot about experience level. They'll say, oh, I've sold 20 houses this month, and they've never sold a house in their life. And so you start to trust them because they talk a lot about business. So you know what? Let's go ahead, have them sit down at the kitchen table. Let's go over how many homes have you really sold. Let me see your testimonials. Let me talk to your broker. Let me talk to people around you so I understand. Don't just go with because they have a cute kid on Facebook or they say, oh, I sold 14 houses. It's not going to, that's not the way you choose a real estate agent.
Another level of that is they can be fabulous people and they're really good people, but just because you're a good person doesn't mean you're a fantastic realtor. True. And there's a difference there. So you need to research and qualify your realtor before you hire them.
And that reminds me, we have the free report, 21 things to ask your agent before you hire them when you're going to sell your home. And if they can't answer all 21 of these questions the right way, probably not a real good agent to choose. So we offer that.
Where can someone find that?
I would email Tammy at SantaClaritaRealEstate.com or
Okay.
Mike at
And I'll even put up a link
SantaClaritaRealEstate.com.
on our website underneath. I'll put some.
And we have a
links there.
video on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Just search Mike Bjorkman, and that'll come up. And it'll say questions to ask your agent before hiring them.
Cool.
Yeah.
The interview process is so important, and more since Tammy and we spend a lot of time on social media. That's the best way to interact with our community. But man, you got to be careful, just like Craigslist. Craigslist is the best way to find anything. Facebook's the best way to find anything. I don't know if you know, but if you hashtag in Facebook like Instagram, you're going to find a lot of stuff. And the younger generation is, searching that, and they're just falling into these traps of, unfortunately, not just our profession, but there are a lot of other professions too. We got a call the other day from one of my close friends. I was actually upset with her because she went to a car mechanic without talking to me first. So, it was another scam.
He did that to me once. I went and did something. He goes, "Don't you ever do anything in this town without talking to me first." I'm like, okay. Do you remember that?
I'm gonna say no.
Don't do anything in this town without talking to me first. I'm
Well,
like, okay.
come on, we know so many people.
Right.
All right, you guys can argue about this after the show. We are way late right now. We got to go.
Okay.
But Mike, thanks again. Mike
thank you.
Bjorkman, exactly. Home Smart Realty. Home Smart Real Estate.
HomeSmartSantaClarita.com.
There you go. It works. Thank you for sharing a part of your day with us. Have a good rest of your day.